Welcome. This is a tutorial on how to complete tutorial 3 case problem 1. We're going to go ahead and download the zip files. So when you click on it, it will pop up. I like to go ahead and go to show in folder. And once I show it in the folder, I want to save it to my desktop. That's easier to access that way. So we're going to go ahead and minimize everything. And we're going to right click on that folder. Once we right click on it, we're going to go extract all. And usually that show extracted files when complete will be checked, but we'll uncheck it and go ahead and extract it. Once it's extracted, it'll save a new folder underneath that folder where we saved it as, and we can go ahead and delete the old folder. Let's go ahead and open it and see what's inside. So all of our files are there. And we can go ahead and exit out of that. Let's go ahead and open up Notepad++. So our first step is to go ahead and open up our two files. We want to go ahead and go to File, Open. We're going to go to the desktop where we saved our files at. And we want to open that Crypt file. It's called CryptText.html. And we want to go ahead back into our files and go to Open and open our C_styles.txt file. So the first file we're going to work with is our Crypt file. We want to go ahead and name it. So we're going to go ahead and type for the author first name, which you'll type your first name, and then last name. And we want to go ahead and date it. And we're going to do that for both files. So same thing, your first name and your last name and the date. Once we do that, we want to go ahead and save those files. So we're going to go ahead and save our Crypt text file. And we're going to go to Save As. And when we rename it, all we're going to do is go ahead and remove the ending, the TXT, off of it. And save it. It's already going to be saved as an HTML file. Next, we're going to go to our C styles. Go to Save As. And we're going to go ahead and erase the TXT off of the end of that one as well. And that one is already set to save as a CSS file. And we're going to go ahead and save that. So our next step is we want to go ahead and link the file to the C_layouts.css style sheet. The way that we do that, we want to go ahead and go in our heading section just below that link. We'll put about 2 spaces there. And we're going to go ahead and type in our link file as such. Let's make sure we pay attention to detail when we type this, because any misspelled word can cause an error in our program. Okay, so our next step, we want to go ahead and locate the 3 strong elements in the 2 paragraphs and add the class attributes to each element with the class value set to keyword. So we're going to go ahead and scroll through our document. In each paragraph where we see the word strong, we want to go ahead and change that and add the class attribute. So we're going to go ahead and find the word strong, leave a space after it, and begin to type. Okay, let's go ahead down to the next one in our paragraph and do the same thing. Okay, let's go to our second paragraph. Find strong, leave a space, and type our class attribute. Okay, step number 4 says we want to locate that locks JPG inline image. And below it, we want to go ahead and create an image map. So right there in the next paragraph where we have that image, we want to go ahead and go to the next line. And we can leave a space in between, or 2 spaces. We want to go ahead and create our image map. So we have our map name, and it's going to equal locks. So after that, if you notice that all of our hotspots are going to be circular hotspots. We're going to go ahead and type our coordinates. The reference, and our alternate text, which the first one is going to be history. Okay, and because I stated before that all of our images are going to be circular images or circular hotspots, I'm going to go ahead and just highlight this first one we did, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it 4 more times right below that one. So pretty much all we have to do is go back in there and change our coordinates, our reference, and our alternate text. So we're going to go ahead and complete step 4, B, C, D, and E. So if we go back up to the second one, we're just going to change our first coordinate to be 155. The reference for our hotspot is going to be Enigma, and the alternate text is going to be set to Enigma as well. So down to the next one. That's a circular hotspot as well. That first coordinate changes to 255. All other coordinates stay the same. We're going to go ahead and link it to the algo.htm file. And we're going to go ahead and set our alternate text to algorithms. Our next hotspot is going to be, our first coordinate is going to change to 355. We're going to keep the second two coordinates. I'm going to go ahead and change our link to single and our alternate text to single key. And then the last one, our first coordinate changes to 455. Our hotspot is going to be linked to that public.htm. And we're going to set our alternate text to public key. So now we're on to step number 5. Step number 5 wants us to go back into that image we have, the image link. And we'll go ahead and apply the lock image map to the locks.jpg inline image. So all we're going to do is go to the very end of that link, of that image, and type in as follows. Step number 6 says to save it. So now we're going to go to our C style sheet. And we want to do step number 7. We're going to set the color of the page. The body background image to black and our text to white. So we're going to go ahead and add the body style section. And we'll type as such. Now I'm double clicking on the word and it automatically generates it for us. I'm going to add 6 zeros. We're going to go ahead and make the color white. Our font family. Now the first one we type in there is going to be the very first one that it will choose. And if that is not available, then we'll go on to the next one that we choose. Okay, so we are finished with the body. Now we're going to go on to step number 8. We're going to go ahead and set our characteristics for that heading. So we want to have our text to be in yellow. We want to have our specific font, our font size. We want to have a kerning of 20 pixels, and we want to center our text. So we're going to label this one our heading styles. Press enter, enter again, and we're going to do our first heading. We want to go ahead and do our color first, and we want to label our color as yellow. Our font family, which will be Courier New. If that's not available, then we will go with Courier. And if that's not available, last option will be Monaco. Next, we'll choose our font size. And we want that to be 28 pixels. So to simplify for pixel will be PX. Our letter spacing will be next. And we chose 20 pixel. We want to align our text, and we want that to be centered. And that is it. So now on to step number 9. We want to go ahead and set our article elements. So just as we did our body style and our heading style, we're going to do our article styles. So we'll label that H2. We're going to select our font size. And that's going to be 24 pixel, so 24 px. Our font weight is next. And we want that to be normal. And our letter spacing. And actually, our next step is actually step number 10, which we have to go ahead and justify our text alignment. So in this, right after this, we'll go ahead and do text align. And we want to type in justify. So we're going to finish that off. Step 11. Step 11 wants us to go for each strong element belonging to the keyword class. We want to create a style rule that displays the text in a yellow, non-bold font. So we'll go ahead and type in the word strong. And we want to go ahead and select the color and make that yellow. And our font weight is going to be normal. And then we're going to move on to step 12 after we finish off this section right here. So step 12 says center the contents of the paragraphs nested within a footer element. So we're going to go ahead and do our footer style. So we're going to type in footer styles. I'm going to go ahead and space down twice. I'm going to type footer, then P. And we want to do a text alignment that's going to be centered. And then step number 13 is next. we want to go ahead and remove any border we have around that image map. So in doing that, we have to go ahead and set our border width to 0. So we're going to go ahead and type in image, our use map, which is equal to locks. And get enter. And we want to go ahead and set our border to none. Okay, and step number 14 says document your work with style comments and then save your changes to the file. Periodically, I went through and actually saved my documents because I like to make sure I don't lose anything. So once we do that, we're going to go ahead and return to the Crypt.html file. And we're going to go ahead and add a link to that C style sheet within this document. So if we scroll back up to the top, under that first link, we want to go ahead and create a second link. And this one's going to link to that C style sheet we just created. So everything is pretty much the same except for right here. I'm going to change that to my C_styles.css. And everything else from this point is exactly the same. So we'll go ahead and just copy that as it says above. Okay, so we want to go ahead and save any changes that we just made. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and open it in a web browser. So we're going to go ahead and go to our run option. And I'm going to launch it in Firefox. So once we run it, we should see exactly how it is in our textbook. It may take a few minutes to upload. So I'm searching over everything and it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and scroll down to make sure we have the rest. Okay. Everything looks good. To submit the file, you would need to compress the folder with the name, last name underscore, first name underscore, tutorial3 underscore case underscore problem underscore 1 using your first and last name. So let's go ahead and go to the folder on our desktop that we created. And we want to go ahead and right click on that folder and go to send to, and we want to select compress zipped folder, and it will create a folder below the one. And we're going to go ahead and rename it. So I'm going to type in last name underscore, first name underscore, and that you actually type in your last and your first name, underscore tutorial 3 underscore case underscore problem underscore 1. So now we're going to go ahead and return to Blackboard and follow the name of your assignment, directions for submitting your assignment. So we're going to go back to our course content, scroll down till we see week 7 and select it. And now we're going to go ahead and go to submit assignments. and click on the top link that says Tutorial Case Problem 1. Next, we'll scroll down and we'll follow directions for submitting your assignment, and you'll browse your computer, and we save it to our desktop. So we'll select our desktop, and then we'll scroll all the way down once we attached it, and we will select Submit. Thank you.